Craig Button joins us on the show this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That would be great. Mr. Button, good morning. Appreciate the time once again. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing okay. We're recovering from the Super Bowl party a couple of nights ago, and now we get to turn our focus to a little hockey action.
Can I ask, Craig, what did you get up to for Super Bowl? Was it a big party or something such as that, or just home with the feet up?
Actually, it was my daughter and her husband had a party to go to, so we watched our granddaughter. So,
okay,
which was nice. I mean, she was running around as much as Patrick Mahomes was running around. So
I was going to say, was she on the Eagles or the Chiefs? You know,
no, she was running around like Patrick Mahomes. She was busy, not really doing a whole lot as we were trying to chase her down.
Scrambling.
Anyway, it was a shocker. It was, it was interesting. Luke Wilson on Wednesday of last week said, "Oh, I'm picking the Chiefs." And then he changed his mind and picked the Eagles. And he said that when he was asked after the game, he said, five big guys on the offensive line that controlled the game, and then the defensive line. And he said, he's happy to see that the big boy football is back. Who controls the line of scrimmage? And the Eagles destroyed it. The Eagles just destroyed it. It did. It was unbelievable to watch it. But that offensive line was impressive for the Eagles.
Yeah, they won in the trenches and ended up making the big difference there. Craig Button with us on the show this morning, brought to you by Pro Am Sports. And once again, if you're watching on YouTube, hammer the sub button for us. We got our first look at Team Canada lines yesterday. Connor McDavid between Mitch Marner and Sam Reinhart, and then it will be McKinnon and Crosby together. Mark Stone was over there yesterday. What do you think? I mean, they're all phenomenal talents, so I'm assuming these lines will work. But what do you think of Marner and McDavid and Reinhart together? How do you think that finds success?
Yeah, I think one of the I like Reinhart with McDavid because he's a finisher. He's smart. The thing about Marner and McDavid, they're very similar. They both want the puck. They both need to have the puck to be most effective. So who's going to defer? And it shouldn't be 97. Let's just be very straight here.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Let me be straightforward here. I don't like it. I don't like Marner on that line with McDavid. I like Reinhart on that line with me. Do you know who I'd really like on that line? Zach Hyman. Oh wait, Zach Hyman's not there, right? So, but because they both need to have the puck to be at their most effective, McDavid and Marner, I think that creates a problem right off the bat.
I was a little surprised that those two guys were together because of what you said, right? Like both excellent playmakers, both guys who like to have the puck. I thought maybe Braden Point would get an opportunity with McDavid and Reinhart. With that being said, Reinhart's going to have to be ready to shoot all the time. So let me just say this. Well,
I think Sammy is ready to shoot. I think that's really important, right? And I think that's a key element in the whole scheme of things is when you're playing with McDavid and because McDavid's so good at holding the puck and having the puck, right? So what's Marner going to do? Marner's not a shooter. What's Marner going to do? Open up to shoot? Well, see, so if you want him to shoot, so what does Reinhart do? I don't like it. Now maybe it'll turn out to be really good. One of the things that we've seen over the course of international competition with Canada, rarely does it finish how it started with respect to the lines.
That's true.
Craig, it's very easy to look at that forward group and the power play and just kind of drool over that. But I'd like to take you to the blue line in the net as well for Canada. And this, it's a best on best tournament. We all know that. But when you're playing with the best and against the best, can't everybody at the Four Nations be the best? So when it comes to the defense, when it comes to the goaltending, how do you think they stack up in relative to the other three nations that they'll be facing? And, is that forward group enough to kind of carry this nation to success?
Well, Eric, you nailed it. Is the forward group good enough to carry that? Because, and I'm going to keep Finland out of this just because of the injuries they have on the blue line right now. I mean, they got decimated. I mean, when you lose Miro Heiskanen, who can play whatever big minutes against the other team's best players. So I'm just going to put, so your first two games are against Sweden and the USA. And Canada is clear second to both those teams on the blue line. and in the net. Now we know how great Makar is, but look at the Swedish blue line. Look at Quinn Hughes is out, but right now Zach Werenski's having as good a season as any defenseman in the National Hockey League. And so when I think about best on best, and you think about, there's no, like we in the NHL we go first line, second line, third line. So a third pair defense, like they're going to get the other team's third line. Well, when you're playing against Sweden and the USA, their third line's really good. Yeah. Like, this is no day at the beach. And the goaltending right now, I know that any one of those three goaltenders, I mean, Andrew Hammond, the Hamburglar, had a 2-month run. All Canada needs is a 4-game run from one of those goaltenders. Yeah. But there's been no indication that any of those three are the guys that are going to, give you the confidence at the outset. Hey, listen, get in the net and show us you can. I get it. And John Cooper talked about it yesterday. He goes, I don't know. It's not going to be he did say he doesn't think it'll be a rotation. So whoever gets in there, and it's must win game one. Like, make no mistake about it. It's like whoever loses game one has to win game two, which makes game one must win. You don't want to go into game two in a must win situation. And for Canada, that's against the USA. You don't want to be there. So, I know we talk about the lines and we talk about the goaltending. There's not a lot of margin here for, okay, let's wait and see. Let's be a little bit patient. The other day in Montreal was interesting. Marty St. Louis yanked Dobish after 8 shots. And he asked him after the game, he goes, this was no game to be patient. Well, let me just say that I think John Cooper should better be taking that same. Wednesday's game is no time to be patient if things aren't working.
As the coach of this team, what do you think Cooper says to a power play that has Makar, McDavid, Crosby, McKinnon, and Reinhart? How do you coach those 5 guys when they're all so damn talented? You think it's just going to work no matter what?
I think you get out of their way. I think you those guys see the ice, see the play. I think the biggest thing for them, for that power play is, here's what I think. It's about how you enter the zone. It's like you want to be crisp in your zone entries. So that's what we're going to work on. Once you guys get the puck and establish it in the offensive zone, we're not telling you anything, and nor should anybody tell them anything. Let them go to work. Let them do their thing in the offensive zone. The only thing I'd be working with them on, get them comfortable, with their zone entries, how they're coming up the ice, how they're going to get into the zone. And then once they get into the zone, let them go. What's anybody going to tell those guys? What are you going to tell them?
That's the thing. Hey, you need to pass to this guy at this time.
Yeah.
I cannot wait. I said it's going to be hockey history when McKinnon, Crosby, and McDavid step over the boards on a power play. It's just, yeah. I cannot wait to see it. I'm very excited for that. I want to flip over to the Oilers here, and there's been a lot of talk in this market the last couple of days about a possible pursuit of John Gibson instead of Stuart Skinner. Craig, your initial thoughts on that conversation, and would you have some time to pursue that?
We've talked about Stuart before and a salary and what it means. My feeling is this. My feeling is that the Edmonton Oilers are a really good team. They're a really good team with Stuart Skinner. It just seems to me that whenever Stuart Skinner has a bad game, or the Oilers maybe not as good defensively, it's like, get rid of Stuart Skinner. For me, I'm looking at it straightforward this way. Stuart Skinner is a guy that I'm having him run through the playoffs this year, and let's see where we get to at the end of the year. The summer will open up all kinds of opportunities if you don't believe that Stuart Skinner's a guy. I don't think it's now. John Gibson, let's be straight here. John Gibson, for the last 4 years, has not been a very good goaltender.
No.
We can talk about his promise. We can talk about. So let me just get this straight. You want to go get a goaltender that hasn't been good for 4 years because some guy had a bad game? I don't get it. I've been very clear. I think the Oilers need a little bit of depth on the blue line, some length and size on the blue line. I like Klingberg. I like what he's done. Emerson's been good. And I would put my chips in on a winger that can play up with Draisaitl and get in there. That's what I'd be doing. That's where my focus would be. It wouldn't be on a goaltender.
Craig, before I let you go, I do want to circle back around to the international scene for just 1 second. What was your all-time favorite international hockey tournament? What would it be?
Geez, my all-time favorite. Well, I was 13, 14 years old when I saw Wayne Gretzky play in the 1978 World Junior Tournament. I was
Oh,
just a
okay.
kid, and
Yeah.
at Christmas Day he had the hat trick against the former Czechoslovakia. I mean, we celebrated. My dad took me down, and we went to that. I'm going to say that my favorite one though was for me personally was 2010 quarterfinal game against Russia in Vancouver. Like I've never heard an arena like that. I mean, we know how passionate the fans are when Canada. I mean, when they came out on the ice that for that quarterfinal game, it was like nothing I'd ever heard before. So I think the Vancouver Olympics and that game specifically.
It's going to be a good conversation. We're going to continue with this so people can text in and share their thoughts on it. Craig, as always, man, we appreciate it. We'll catch up next week.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day.
There you go. That's Craig Button, one of the nicest people around.